In Mansfield, Ohio, there stands a prison that time forgot, the Ohio State Reformatory. Built in the late 1800s, it's an imposing fortress of steel and stone, home to tragedy, despair, and unrelenting darkness. Thousands of inmates once shuffled through its corridors, and many never left. Visitors today speak of phantom footsteps echoing from empty halls. Whispers slither through the air, voices from prisoners long dead. One paranormal investigator described feeling an icy breath on the back of his neck, like someone was leaning close to him, unseen. But the darkest part of this prison is the hole, solitary confinement. It's said the walls of those cramped cells still hold on to every ounce of fear and pain. A group of explorers once dared to stand in the pitch black of the hole, only to hear faint cries around them. One man swore he felt cold hands wrap around his throat, squeezing tighter until he stumbled out, gasping for air. When he looked back, the cell was empty. But Mansfield doesn't just haunt, it looms. Its shadows move when no one should be there. And some visitors never forget what they see or hear. There's something chilling about a bridge alone at night. Still, quiet, except for what you can't explain. Ohio is home to many crybaby bridges, but they all share one heart-wrenching tale. The story goes that long ago, a desperate mother, shunned by society, threw her newborn baby off the bridge and into the dark waters below. Some say it was out of shame, others believe something darker whispered into her ear. Now, on certain nights, if you stop your car on the bridge and listen closely, you'll hear it. The soft cries of an infant carried on the wind. One traveler parked on the bridge late at night, only to hear tiny taps on his car windows. When he looked, faint handprints appeared on the fogged glass. Another woman said she turned off her engine and heard a scream, so loud it rattled through her chest. She turned the key to leave, but the car wouldn't start. A shadow appeared in her rearview mirror. A woman in white, standing perfectly still. The cries are real, or so they say. And if you dare to stop, will you be brave enough to listen? Franklin Castle sits in Cleveland, a Gothic mansion with walls that whisper and rooms that hide secrets. Built by Hannes Tiedemann in the late 1800s, its beauty masks a grim history. Tragedy seemed to haunt the Tiedemann family. Children died unexpectedly, servants spoke of curses, and visitors today say the house is alive with its own eerie pulse. The most chilling story is of the woman in black. Guests have reported seeing her drifting through the upstairs halls, silent, her eyes fixed out the windows as if she's waiting for someone, or something. One man claimed he heard soft crying coming from an empty room. When he entered, the crying stopped, but he swears he felt someone watching him. Others have seen figures appear in mirrors, faces that don't belong to anyone alive. One woman's voice even trembled as she described footsteps following her down the grand staircase, and then the feeling of a hand gently tugging on her dress. Franklin Castle may stand still, but its spirits never rest. And if you visit, don't be surprised if you feel like you're not alone, because you're probably not. Deep in the forests of southeastern Ohio, hidden among the trees, lies the Moonville Tunnel. Built for trains in the 1800s, it became infamous for accidents, disappearances, and the brakeman, a ghostly figure who's said to haunt the tracks. The legend goes that the brakeman was killed by an oncoming train. Now his spirit wanders the tunnel, a lantern light flickering in the distance before vanishing into nothing. Hikers have told the same terrifying story. Walk into the tunnel alone and you'll hear footsteps trailing behind you. Slow at first, then faster. Turn around, nothing. One group claimed they saw a glowing light appear at the far end of the tunnel, floating closer before blinking out completely. The bravest visitors say the air gets heavy, thick, as if someone, or something, is watching. And when they leave, it's almost as though the brakeman follows, waiting for his next victim to step too close to the tracks. In Athens, Ohio sits one of the most notorious former mental asylums in the country, the Ridges. Opened in 1874, it was home to thousands of patients, many of whom were mistreated, forgotten, and left to die. The most infamous story is the legend of the stain room. Decades ago, a patient vanished, only to be discovered weeks later in an abandoned ward. She had died alone, curled up on the floor. Her body left a dark stain that cleaners scrubbed, bleached, and scraped, but it never disappeared. The stain remains today, a permanent mark of her tragic end. Paranormal investigators visiting the ridges report chilling experiences, unexplained screams echoing down empty corridors, shadows darting past doorways, and an overwhelming feeling of being pushed or grabbed by unseen hands. One investigator even fled the building after seeing the shadow of a person move across the room when he was supposed to be completely alone. The ridges stands as a haunting reminder of what happens when the forgotten are left behind, and some say the souls inside are still searching for a way out. From prisons to bridges, castles to tunnels, and asylums where the walls still remember the screams, Ohio holds more than just stories, it holds warnings. So, next time you think about exploring one of these places, ask yourself, do you believe the tales? And are you ready to find out if they're true?